The prince burned her alive. I heard her screams. I didn't see it, but I was there. Close enough to hear everything. Close enough to smell the smoke. I still can't get it out of my head. This happened when I was 16. I lived in a village near the king's palace. The king was kind, but his youngest son, Prince Keto, was the opposite. People feared him, though they never said it aloud. He was cruel, even as a boy. He liked to hurt animals, break things, and sometimes people. But no one stopped him. How could they? He was the prince. I worked as a servant in the palace. My job was cleaning, mostly, and carrying water. One day, I made the mistake of spilling some water near Prince Keto. It wasn't even on him, just near his feet. But he looked at me like I had slapped him. He didn't say anything. He just stared at me with this cold, dead look. It felt like his eyes went right through me. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I just kept my head down and cleaned it up as fast as I could. That night, I heard whispers in the servant quarters. They said Prince Keto was angry, and when he was angry, bad things happened. They told me to be careful, but what could I do? I couldn't leave. The next morning, we all heard the news. One of the village women, a widow, had been caught stealing from the palace. They said she took some grain. Not much, just enough to feed her children. But stealing from the king's house was a crime. She was dragged to the palace courtyard to be punished. Everyone in the village came to watch. They had to. If you didn't show up, they would think you were disrespecting the king. I stayed in the back, hiding behind the crowd. Prince Keto was there, standing beside the soldiers. He smiled as they tied the woman to a post. She was crying, begging for mercy. She kept saying, "It was for my children. Please forgive me." But no one answered. Then Prince Keto lit the torch. He didn't hand it to the soldiers. He didn't give it to anyone else. He held it himself and walked up to her. She screamed when the flames touched her dress. It caught quickly, and soon, she was completely on fire. Her screams were the worst thing I've ever heard. They didn't stop until the fire did. No one in the crowd moved. No one cried out or tried to help her. We all just stood there, frozen, because we knew. If we said anything, if we even looked at Prince Keto the wrong way, we would be next. Afterward, Prince Keto looked at us. He wasn't smiling anymore. His face was calm, like nothing had happened. He said, "Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks they can steal from us." Then he walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. I could still hear her screams in my head. I thought about running away, but where would I go? I had no family outside the village, no money. And even if I left, what if Prince Keto found out? The next morning, they made me clean the courtyard where it happened. I saw the ashes, the burned rope, and something that looked like bone. I was shaking so much I could barely hold the broom. I don't work at the palace anymore. After that day, I stopped showing up. I went to a different village, far enough that no one knows me. But even now, I'm scared. What if someone recognizes me? What if Prince Keto hears where I am? Some people say he's dead now, but I don't believe it. Men like him don't die. They don't stop. They just wait.